let's just hit that and start recording from now. Let's make it really basic and not too organized, so that hopefully is hit the button, it's recording. How do I know that's recording? Because it says pause recording. Yes, so that's cool. Right, excellent. Okay.
Janie needs to mute.
Yeah, cool. So let me just see. Let's just put this up so I can see who's on first before I go to my screen. Good stuff. Hi, Catherine. How you doing? Right. So yeah. Okay, guys. So what we'll do then, if it's okay with you, let's do. You're all muted, which is great. If you have a particular thing you want to stop, then just wave at me, and I'll try my best to do that, or just find a way, or unmute yourself and just say, "Can I speak to you, Chris?" That'd be great. So what I wanted to do, I wanted just to
hold on a minute. Just quick cruise thing.
Nolene, can you just do me a favour, darling? I'll come mute you, actually. Sorry, it's okay. It's all right, Nolene. Sorted, I can mute it. Sorry. I'm learning how to navigate my way around Zoom. So what I wanted to do, guys, just make the best use of the time. It was Linda reached out to me saying, could I take her through a bit of LinkedIn? So what I thought I'd do, if that's okay with everybody, is I'm going to go through sort of the basics. So apologies if it's something that you already know, but go through the basics first, and I can then show you a little bit of how I use it from that. So what I'm going to cover off is a little bit in this document here. So just get that on. So we've got, what I'm suggesting that we do is we look at your profile overhaul. So cut long story short, you've got an opportunity to knock on a number of doors with LinkedIn and use it to basically build up an audience. So you want to make sure that you get a profile, and your profile is functioning properly for you. And we'll have a little bit of I've got a couple of examples of how you might want to look at that. We'll look at how you can start to build your target audience and how you can actually start to build that out. I'm going to talk from a position that you've started with virtually no connections, and just say how you can build trust within LinkedIn first and then widen it out from there. Then you're looking to see how you manage the target audience. So there is certain rules in terms of how many connections you can make with LinkedIn without LinkedIn getting too much feeling that you're spamming everybody, and doing that too. And then what we've got is, then I'm just going to give you a little bit of how you can follow up and nurture if we get to that in time. So just going on to the basics then. So this is my profile. I've built up my profile. I've rejigged my profile recently. So things that you want to make sure you've got sorted with your profile is just general things similar to some of the other social media, making sure you got a clean image so people can actually go, yeah, I recognize that guy, I know who he is. I've just recently changed my profile back from being all about Isagenix, and that came from a little bit of feedback that I got on another training that I was thinking about, that I was listening to over the weekend. Actually, if we're not careful, people will make a judgment call on us and our business on whatever they go and research. So if they see that we reach out coldly to them, they might suddenly think, right, what's this Isagenix about? They'll go and do their own research. They've had no dialogue with us, and they'll switch off to us without us having an opportunity to get a dialogue in. So I've just repositioned myself here as a network marketer. So I've built out my profile to say, so when you're in your profile and you've set that, you've got this little arrow here, edit, and at any stage when you're in your profile, you can go and edit any part of your profile. So you can go and edit your headline image. As you can see, I've used one from the social tools that we've got. I've used one that's not, it's got a little bit of Isagenix in the sense it's got Toby there, and it's got real people, real results, albeit that's not fantastic behind my profile, but it gives an indication a little bit what we're doing. And then I've just used a real simple headline to try and say what I'm about. So I'm on a mission to help others achieve better health and wealth through the power of network marketing. What my current position is, I've positioned myself, like I say, I've taken it back off being at Isagenix. I've just put myself as a network marketer at Outcome. Outcome's my marketing, or my sort of own self-employed business that I've got. So that's something that you can sort of consider and play about with. And then a little bit about myself, that I went to university allegedly on a day release on HNC, so slight bit of poetic license there. And then where I live, etc., health and fitness. And then this summary piece is quite a crucial bit. It gets across an opportunity to say what, and put a little bit more detail. If you think about it, your profile needs to be almost like a little bit like a website landing page. You've got to try and give people an opportunity to consider what you're about, but we've got to present enough intrigue for them to consider how they want to talk to us and maybe want to reach out to us. Or if we've reached out to them and they're looking at our profile, they get a little bit of understanding of that. So I've tried to sort of use some words that are talking about network marketing, saying how we help. I've put a little bit that links to the fact that we help transform people's lives through solution-based products and business opportunity. I've not gone too much into the health on this side. I'm focusing a bit, from my perspective, I'm focusing a bit more on the network marketing. And that's because my strengths, I believe, are because I'm more from a corporate background. I've been sales directors at different positions. So I'm trying to play to my strengths. That may be different for you guys. So just consider what your strengths are and what you want people to see your profile as, and think, right, this is the type of person I want to do some business with, and present it in that fashion. And then what I've done recently, I only did this a couple of days ago, probably in nervous preparation for this call, is that I've put a little bit on how I want them to connect with me. So I've said, connect with me on LinkedIn, book a meeting, video call by clicking this. I use HubSpot. I can touch on that a little bit with you if you want. That particular link will take you straight to my calendar, and you can book the times that I've shown that I'm available for that calendar. And then, or I've given my email address, and they can email me, and let's arrange a chat where I can share with you the network marketing helps people take control of their work-life balance. You can upload details here. You can upload videos and presentations. I've not done that yet. Again, like I say, because I'm decided currently to play out, not doing the Isagenix part of the part that we're presenting. I'm trying to be very much around sort of the life change and the business aspects of it. That's what I'm doing in terms of trying to get people intrigued to think actually it's an opportunity to do that. Okay, so just coming back to the profile then, you can then go and add a load of different profile sections. So if you look at my profile, that was the bit we've sorted. What you can then do is, once you've done that, is hope to then build out your experience. So this is my sort of experience. It's got my network marketing. I've done a little bit more detail about what that's about. I've put a little bit about the part-time income aside to your current job in there, just giving a little bit more depth to what the offering could be for the people we're connecting with. I've got my current position, which is the consultancy work that I do, albeit I'm seen as a commercial manager within Kenny's that I do up in Manchester. And then I've got my previous history. So for me, I'm building out a story that I'm very much about sales, and I've been in sales and marketing for most of my career, if not all of my career. And this is why I'm in Isagenix, just to give you a little bit of flavour. HSS Hire Shops, my sales director was a guy called David Taylor, who Christine knows, and Steve and David did some training for me when I was at Reconomy, and that's how I got to meet Steve, and that's how I got into Isagenix. Okay, and then I've got one final bit of experience here, is my way back when in my days when I was working at Chapman. A bit about my education, a little bit about me in terms of what I do in terms of the volunteer experience. And, you don't have to fill all these profiles out, but what you're trying to do is build out a number of different details. And then you end up with a number of skills and endorsements that you can actually do. And actually, I haven't done a huge amount with this yet, but it's something I'm going to play out. So I've got all these different skills that I've been supposedly got some knowledge about. And all these people different people have endorsed me. So if I hit sales, for example, this will give a bit of depth for the people who have actually endorsed me. So that's a captive audience of people that I can talk to. So I know Robin, I've done a little bit of networking with Robin, he at Bespoke Hotels. Nick I've done some work with. I've actually had a chat to him recently. James is a part of a business that I've got shares in. Russell Gregg is an ex-sales manager that worked under me. So you can see what you end up building. You actually end up building a lot of people that you know, and actually they know you in a different environment, but then it's an opportunity to start a dialogue. And something that I learned over the weekend listening to Eric Worre's Go Pro Academy is just start the conversation and keep the conversation going. So what we're guilty of is jumping 2 feet in, right, I want to tell you about Isagenix. What I'm starting to do is starting to build up some warm conversations and actually building that out and trying to get that sort of going. And this is a great platform and a great place to have an audience that you've built up, you've prepared a list, you've got connection, you've got some background, you've got some reasons to work. So Eva worked in our customer service at Economy many moons ago. Probably not spoken to Eva since I worked there 10 plus years ago, but I could reach out to her and say, hey, what's going on in your life? What you're doing these days? How you getting on? I've had a dialogue today actually with a lady called Donna who works in our customer service. I'd messaged her on LinkedIn. She was looking for work. She's out of work. I put a hand of help. I said I would be a reference to her for a CV. I've done that for her today. I've shared Isagenix. She said she's not in a great place with confidence at the moment. I've just said, well, that's really disappointing to hear. Can I help you in any way? I think Isagenix, this business would be good for you, but it's not, if its timing is not right, not a problem, but I'm here to help you in any way that I can. Keep me on your CV and I'll give a reference for you for whatever. So, I'll keep that warm dialogue going. I'll find reasons to find out how she's getting on. I'll ask about Devon, who's her child, and just, general sort of well-being to see how she's getting on. So there's plenty of ways with LinkedIn to actually start to build your audience. So, what I will do next, if I may, is just show you a different example. So Mark, obviously we all know, is one of our leading lights in Isagenix. So Mark's got himself to a position that he can actually be quite bold and quite confident about his positioning. He's positioning himself very much as a business transformation coach, and he has a skill set to do that. And as we know, Lara positions herself about building a business from a mobile phone. So they're complementing each other in terms of how they're building up, how they work together. And we touched on it a little bit on the chat today in our groups and on the call this morning about how we can actually buddy up with people. You've just done it on the WhatsApp, haven't you, Hill, in reaching out about people with that skill set to understand the nutrition side of things. So that's where we should work together. But what we potentially will work towards is this is a potential end result, or should I say a more mature result that Mark has got to. He's got a place here. He can talk with a position of authority. He's putting in the videos to substantiate his authority. And because of that, he's built himself up a real audience. That means he can actually go out and present articles based on what he says. So it's a real good opportunity to be that leader in your field and presenting yourself in that case. And then you can go down to his experience. And he keeps his experience in there. He's not shied away from that. His education, etc. And then obviously the details of his nutrition. One thing I missed actually on my profile is the recommendations. So I used this in a previous life. So when I left Reconomy and went to in the early to Creative Network, I was looking to connect with marketing managers in Cornwall. I didn't know anybody in Cornwall in business sense. I lived in Cornwall. I didn't do any business there. So I straight away needed to build out a position of authority and trust. I needed to get to what I was about and got people to put what I was about. So if you read through my, and David's there, bless him, if you read through my sort of accreditations and reviews from people, they have a consistent message about my integrity, my honesty, my work ethic, the type of person I am. So when I'm presenting myself to the person I don't know, I may be a first connection with them, but they've never actually spoken to them. I've just connected on LinkedIn. I've got a position to say, look, if you want to hear what I'm about, just have a look at my recommendations, see what people say about me. You'll see that there's a general theme about my integrity and my honesty. I'm here to help you. I'd like to offer you some details. So it's about positioning yourself and and to some degree, that's no different to what we're doing when we're doing face-to-face, or whether we're doing Facebook or Instagram or whichever platform we're trying to reach out to people. Simplicity is we're trying to find a list, we're trying to warm up the list, we're trying to get into a more business related dialogue around Isagenix when appropriate, and then we're looking for closure, aren't we? And it's a simple sales flow, if we like. And it sounds really simple when you give it out in a 20 seconds chat like that, but it takes some time and effort and some knockbacks, as we know. So yeah, so they're the two differences, if you like, in that. You've got Mark who's established. He can be bold around Isagenix. He's quite happy to take the knockbacks because they've got the contacts and the connections and the authority to do that. I'm early in my journey, so I've decided in the short term just to try and get some dialogues going without putting Isagenix in the forefront of their mind. But again, there's no right or wrong answer there. Just another example just to show in terms of profiling and positioning. Again, Eric's very as we all know, very well trusted and positioned in the network marketing arena. So he's presented himself as that authority. He is an author and a speaker, a founder of. He knows exactly who he is and what he does. He's got some detail, and again, he's got his information. So let's go back to some basics for you. This is what Linda sort of said, and she wanted to reach out to me. So how do you build out your profile? So when you go to, let me just minimize that so I can see what I'm doing. So you go to your little me button, and you've got settings and privacy. So if you hit the settings and privacy button, this is effectively how you build out your profile, how people can see your profile and interact with you. And you have a number of different ways that you can actually do that. So for example, who can see your connections? So if we click change there, it's got that I've actually set that so only I can see my connections. If I put your connections, then it would open it up to you. So if you guys were connected, you would be able to see all my connections that I've got, which is something like 6,600 now. So the rule of thumb generally is in business is you don't necessarily let out your company. You basically connected more often than not with your customers. So you don't really let your competition see who your connections are. So hence the reason that's why I've got only you. I don't want people to farm my audience and use my audience. That said, if anybody wanted to know any of my connections and wanted to find out have I got somebody in a different particular arena, just message me and I'm happy to share it. I just don't want to share it out in the public domain. Then you've got view of this profile also viewed. So this is where if you, in some profiles, if that's switched on, you'll see others similar to you. So let's say I'm network marketing and I had that switched on. LinkedIn would say, who else is similar to Chris, similar profile in the network marketing arena? So it might put a couple of 3 other people. I might get a Herbalife person there, I might get an Amway person there. I might get a number of different people. Probably in my case, I've been established long in the construction sector, in sales, I'd get a number of those different people as well. But what you don't really want to do is give people searching your profile an opportunity to go and search others that are similar to you. You want them to dialogue with you. So I'd recommend you switch that to no, so it doesn't actually give any options when people are on your profile. This is where you can, in the simple sense, show your full name or last name. I always recommend to be transparent and show your full name. And it goes on and on. So really, I don't want to spend too much time, conscious of time. You can just go through these details and just literally look at them and answer any questions. I'm happy to take any messaging from you guys. You message me, email me, drop me a WhatsApp, whatever you want to do. If you're a little bit uncertain about one of the statuses, then let me know. One thing that you perhaps want to look at, so profile viewing options. This is what you are saying to somebody. So if I went on to Hillary's profile, she would know if she's got certain payments on. I think you have to have the premium payment to get the maximum views on this. And I'll show you this a little bit in a minute. But Hillary would know that I've been on her profile. She would know that I've seen her. I could be a little bit more less transparent and say it's somebody from a particular company, or I can just say I don't want them to know. So, for instance, when you can go and flip this whenever you want. So if you are really sort of going and checking out the competition, flick on your anonymous, go and do a load of research around your competition, come back and change the profiles. So it's one of those things that you can just mess around with when suited for what your activity is. And like I say, there's a few more details that you can go and look at and go through and check, but not too much to worry about other than just probably checking out who sees what on your profile and who actually what they see when they go onto your profile. Okay, so let's get back to the actual profiles itself. So when I log into LinkedIn, I get this generally. And so let me just give you a little bit of activity of what I'm doing and how I'm using LinkedIn. So for example, today I decided to do made redundant as a search. Now, the beauty of this is I've built out quite a big audience. And so because of that, I've got quite a lot of connections. So when I put made redundant in, it's actually given me 48,567 possible results. And actually, a lot of these were second connections. So Brendan, Jennifer, and Annette have all connected with me today, and Barry. They've all actually connected with me because lo and behold, they're looking for work and they think I've got an opportunity to help them. So that's what I've done. And then I've actually sent some messages on that basis, and I've actually asked them what they wanted to do. I haven't messaged all these people yet because I'd started this morning. So here's an example, I think. So I just put this little message. I connected with Anne this morning, and I just put, thanks for making a connection with me on LinkedIn. Might have an opportunity you wish to consider. It's easy to explain in a simple chat. Would you be interested? If you let me know an evening suit, all the best. Now, that might have been a bit too overkill at 6:52 this morning because I've not had a response from Anne as of yet. But you do get some. So I think Jennifer was one. Let me just put that in. I think she was one that came back to me. So Jennifer Sharp. So she put, hi Jen. I put, to let me know what evening is. Oh, hang on. So she put, always open to opportunities, Chris, when she connected. I put, what? Just give me a chat. What's best? I don't want to waste much time. So if you can outline details, the message, can we go from there? Okay. So I haven't had chance with being at work today to respond to that. So I'll drop her a little bit of a note, and I'll say to her probably, you know, are you on WhatsApp? Are you happy to share your mobile? I've got a couple of videos I can share with you. And I'll probably share one on network marketing and one on Isagenix to get a bit of a flavour of getting the dialogue going. Now, the challenge with that is she may, I've not had a conversation with her, not had an opportunity to put any personality into it. So, you know, what I'm finding a little bit is that personality can get dropped off. So, but what I'm showing you here is a number of different opportunities to build up an audience and actually connect with people. What I've got here also is I use the happy birthdays, and I'm just using a little bit of the strategy that Mark and Lara suggested. So let me think who I had with that. Clive was a good one. So Clive, this morning I just sent him a little bit happy birthday. Any exciting plans for the year ahead? I always, it automatically defaults a happy birthday message. I always just put the happy birthday. I leave that, and Clive just always put their name in, and then just put any exciting plans for the year ahead. And he's put, to be valuing my time, primary focus, be happy and healthy with enough wealth to make it possible. Something brilliant, but I don't want to jump in 2 foot and go, well, I can do health and wealth there. It's Isagenix, and you should sign up. So I put, totally agree. Health and wealth are key to provide for our families. Do you have any plans regarding these? And he's put definition of plan, and I put good question. I suppose my plan is pushing myself to try something new, which I have done by using a nutritional system that has helped me lose 23 pounds so far. Happy to share with you if health and weight loss is your thing. Now, not come back to me. I might have been too bullish in that conversation. Maybe in strategy, I could have said, hey, perhaps we could have a chat about things. So there's different strategies to work, but fundamentally we're trying the best to try and get a dialogue doing. There's James is a good guy that I've seen. James had put a post. I saw a post of his on LinkedIn this morning. He does videos in Cornwall. I've met James, done a bit of business with him in the past. He'd actually put a video about a fishing exercise, and it was basically was talking about his health. He was saying, you know, time to kickstart the health. So I said, I saw a post. You're back in the health kick for the summer. I might have something of interest to share with you on this. Are you free for chat on Friday? He's put, yeah, give us a buzz. And then he's put a little bit of, he's a good fellow, is James. And then so I put, nice one. We'll look forward to it. And I've got a chat to call him on Friday morning, and I can have a little dialogue. So that was a simple, saw a little post of somebody I knew that I could actually reach out to him because I know him, have a little bit of a dialogue, and it just happened to be linked to what he was looking to do. Paul, which there was another guy on here, and I'll have to remind myself. He was actually just run the marathon. And so Jim, here it was Jim. So he just run the marathon, and but he said he hadn't quite got his target in London, but he's looking to go to Chicago. So he put, I'm sure he would get to target in Chicago. I thought it would be good to contact us. So you can see how it works. I'm probably rabbiting and waffling like I normally do there. But it gives you a flavour of how you can start a load of dialogues in warming up how you can work with people and get things sorted. So some of you, and Linda might be thinking this because she said, well, how do I build up my network? So go back to network. There's a little button here called My Network. and you start to look to connect with people. And the best advice I could give you, if you haven't got any network at all, so I've got 6,700, so I'm fortunate because I can go to 6,700, and because of that, my actual reach comes to, if I put my second reach into that, it becomes like nearly 50,000 people and beyond, and a lot more into third connections. I think it's actually more than 50,000. But what my advice would be is find people you know. So you'd say, do you know what? I know Steve Darlington, and you put in Steve Darlington. And if you know what company he's at, now I happen to be a first connection, but he might say you don't know him, or you can connect him, or you can actually invite, probably come as a second connection. Let's have a look at Steve out of interest. Picking on Steve, if I can type properly. So Steve actually has let me see all his connections. Okay, so if I connected with Steve, straight away, all his connections would be the first or second connections. So Hill's there, good old Hill. She's there, looking beautiful there, Hill. So Hill's kindly connected with me. And then we've got a number of different people that we're connected with, we've crossed paths with, because we obviously, Josh is there, and Russell that we mentioned earlier, you saw he's trained. But then you can see some second connections. So I can connect to Neil. I'm not going to, because he works for a competitor of ours, but I can connect. He actually worked for the Economy that I talked about earlier. And you can see how you can build this out. So if I went to page 4, it's more likely that it's going to be, so we've got a lot of connections, me and Steve are the same. So because of the connections with Economy. So flipping down to page 7 and page 31. We've got the same. So here we go. I'm into second connections now. So if I wanted to, so I'm going to just do this one. I can connect. And I can just send the message like that, and it'll just give the normal message. And I do that regularly. I just let the normal LinkedIn message. But I can then I can actually personalize this. So I can put, if I can remember the guy's name to look at it. Hi, we are both connected with Steve Darlington. Would love to connect with you too. Oh, look at that. We've even got a GIF from Zoom there. Send an invitation. So that invitation has gone to P&M Photography. I wouldn't normally pick somebody who actually doesn't put their own name in there, but you can see that the point of actually you start to build out your network. The beauty of building out your network is twofold. First and foremost, you get first connections to actually message to directly, and secondly, you're then in a position where you're actually building out your search, so that whenever I search in LinkedIn, I've got an opportunity with 6,600 connections to more often not find somebody within the target audience I'm looking for, either as a second or third connection to somebody I'm already connected to. So once you start building out your audiences, that helps greatly, and you can start to move that into your place. The beauty, obviously, or you may not be obvious, you can only message to people directly in a first-to-first connection, other than if you're on a premium package, and then you can buy what they call inbox credits. So the premium packages tend to be quite expensive, so I wouldn't suggest you do that to start off with. I would suggest you just build up your profiles and build up your connections. Now, in terms of rules for, and I'll share this little LinkedIn tips document with you guys. I'll find a way of getting this over to you. I think because I've put it in a Google Doc, I might have to send you a link, or we can do it on email. We'll work that out afterwards. Now, what the audience rules in LinkedIn are that you have something like 75 to 100 prospects every day that you could probably connect with. If you start connecting, so going back to my days when I said I was connecting with marketing managers in Cornwall, when I was trying to build up my marketing business when I moved into Cornwall, I didn't know those rules, and I went hell for leather, and I connected with, well, I spent hours and hours every evening just connecting with people. Now, many of those people have gone, oh, don't know who this guy is. I'm going to block him. Or what LinkedIn has is they have a number of different algorithms that start to work out that they feel that their network's been spammed. So the general rule of thumb is if you do 75 to 100 prospects a day in terms of connecting with people and asking for connections, then you will fall under the radar of LinkedIn blocking you. Now, I did get blacklisted many moons ago on LinkedIn, and it can be reversed. You can get in touch with them. You can get to the situation where you can help those people or get in contact with LinkedIn, shall I say, and get yourself on off the blacklist. But my advice to you is just build it up slowly but surely. Connect with people. Look to see if they've got open connections on their profile. Therefore, you'll be connecting with their second connections and build slowly but surely from there. What you'll tend to find as well, if they are the right type of people that you want to profile, then you will find that they are similar in terms of their connections. Then you can obviously do what I did. You can look at different searches. So probably play around with this, try the made redundant and see how many opportunities you got to connect with people there based on your own profile currently. And that will give you the sort of numbers that you can do from that. Right, guys, I'm waffled too much. I've waffled half an hour. The little gift I got from Zoom was that they've actually extended the 40 minutes, so we can just go into unlimited minutes. It's my first ever go. So I'm just going to try and unmute you all, which I'm going to have to try and work out here.
It's all right, Chris. We can unmute ourselves.
You can mute yourselves.
Yeah.
Thanks, Hill. It's a good job you're here to help me.
Oh, that's all right. You've done a brilliant job.
Well, thank you for that. Appreciate it. So, look, I mean, I've waffled on. Is there any direct questions or anything that I've not covered that you guys want to ask, and I'll try and navigate to and share with you?
I have a weak one, Chris.
Yeah, okay, Martin.
One thing is quite useful. You're allowed to join about 49 groups in LinkedIn.
Oh, yeah, good point. Yeah.
It's like Facebook groups. You can join groups like whatever. It could be health professionals. It could be fitness professionals. It could be, say, you wanted to charge, say, stockbrokers, and you think they've lots of money and lots of lunches. You could join something like people interested in financial services or whatever.
Yeah.
And you'll generally get into groups quite easily. Obviously, you want to get involved in a busy group. There's lots of activity, not a group that hasn't had activity since 2018 or something.
So when you go to your My Network, you've got, and you click your connections. I think you've got groups here. So I've got three groups so far. These are all sort of, I've tried to join different connections. I've requested to join the Art of Network Marketing recently. There's nearly 25,000. So in that, the reason why I've done that is a little bit of knowledge, but secondly, I was thinking actually there's potential prospects in other businesses where it's not quite working for them. They prefer to look at a better network marketing business or obviously if we've got a better network marketing business than they might have. How do you search on that, Martin? How have you gone to search for groups?
Probably I just thought locally groups in Belfast. So you put in groups in your local area, groups in Cornwall or trade associations in your area. Or just put in, see what comes up.
Yeah, so you just do it like a normal sort of search. And it works very much in that sense. It's just using the search, and there's a little bit of trial and error that you can do.
You play around, but you can play around with it.
So you can do that. You can search for redundant. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, no, good. Thanks for pointing that out. Good point. Yeah, to be aware, to look at. Anybody else got anything that you want particularly to add?
Chris, thank you very much. I really appreciate that, and I'll start trying to set my profile. But I have a question. Earlier on your profile, I know you say you listen to Eric. That's the reason why you didn't put associate. Can you give me more information about that? Because on my profile is associate, but now I want to know why you don't put associate in your profile.
Okay, so if I just quickly, this is my HubSpot that I use to remind myself. My aging memory forgets what I'm doing in life. So these are sort of listening to things. So what if I just put in the 20 here? This is me just reminding myself where this detail is. So if you think about the process, I was listening to Eric Worre over the weekend, and he was talking about 20 and 30 days, he's got a strategy that he's got in his GoPro Academy. Now, I'm not, and that's quite an aggressive strategy. And I'm not looking to sign up 20 people in 30 days. I'd love to, but I'm not going to set that expectation for myself. But the point to the question, Linda, is that he's got a number of different ways that you build up your audience. So he talks about a pre-launch before you start getting into your audience. He then talks about a preparation. So he says to yourself, actually make a preparation. And he talks about warming up your prospect list. And then what he also talks about is actually then when you're getting into a situation is actually keeping the conversation going. So the reason why I've done, when I had it as all out Isagenix. So what I did, I changed my profile. I put Isagenix. I put Isagenix image in the top. I let when you set up a new position in your profile. Let me just get back to my profile. You put a new, so if I go and edit my profile, let's just switch with you. You can actually tell your network that you've got a new job. You can switch it off. You can say, do you want your network to be notified or do you not? So I let my my network be notified that I was in Isagenix. And I got a number of people saying, congratulations on your new job. And that gave me an opportunity to get dialogue. But what I found is that dialogue wasn't very easy to carry on with. And secondly, the bit that Eric's really saying to me is that people will go, oh, right, let's go and just Google Isagenix then. And off they go, and they've not had a dialogue with me. They've not looked at my integrity. They've not looked at why I'm looking to do business with them. And so what I'm trying my best to is use this tool to get offline. And all social media should be realistically, unless we're super skilled with the creative word, which I'm not, is to get it offline and get a conversation going. And whether that's a face-to-face, belly to belly, as we say, or whether we get a Zoom call going. And that's to some degree what we're trying to deliver here. We're trying to get people to have a conversation with us. So that's my purpose. That's my reason, Linda, why I've decided to try this strategy. If it doesn't work and I feel that Isagenix is more, I need to be a bit more, you know what, I want to find people who are looking for health and I want people to find that they've also got the wealth aspect for business, I might reposition myself. There's nothing wrong with doing that. Yeah. I can do that purpose.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
I must second that one, Chris. I used to have it plastered, then I didn't plaster. And a little bit, I know, in January when we were at Phoenix, I asked Eric L what he thought, and I'd be interested, Andy, I'm sure with point after he's been on his meeting, but Eric's comment was, if, let's say for argument's sake, you've got 250 Facebookers and you've pretty much contacted the lot and they all know what you do, and you're not massively bringing new people on all the time, then if they know about it, post some posts about Isagenix, etc., etc. But if you're not, if it's new and LinkedIn and all these new people, then the intrigue is the most important bit. Yeah. And like Chris, Eric Worre suggests it. I love Ray Higdon, who's another network marketing guru, and he's very much the same. He says, you've got to create that and stop them from going to Google and just, and you know yourself, if you tap Isagenix into Google, the front page is scary. You wouldn't particularly want somebody to just go there without chatting to you first and hearing your story. So my page is the same. I don't mention Isagenix, but I do put my before and afters, but they don't say Isagenix. The only thing I do put on sometimes is Isabody. But I think it'd be great to see what Andy's take is on that as well over the course of this week.
Yeah, I mean, I think where LinkedIn is slightly different, in my opinion, to Facebook and Instagram, is that this is really a business-to-business connection. It's very much business. People are very much on here, and I watched Lara and Mark's training on this. And if you go into the Facebook group, it's there, and I would recommend watching it because they do talk about using it, farming it for data. And the farming it for data. And if I go back to my previous life in the corporate world, that's what I would do. I would go and say, do you know what? I need to go and do some business with Barratt Homes. So I'd put in Barratt Homes and I'd actually find out I need to find the procurement team. So I put in procurement, and straight away, fingers crossed, up they come. Oh, there's commercial director there. All right, okay. And then you go through all the detail. Oh, Jason Woodbine. Actually, I've met Jason because I've done business with him. But what you've suddenly got is a whole array of people who are in a sector. Now, we're slightly different because we are looking for people from all different sectors to some degree, but we're looking for people that may want to do different things. So the made redundant is a good one. Looking for new opportunities is a very good search to use. So you put in looking for a new opportunity. And sorry, I picked a company there, so that was not me concentrating. So straight away, you've got this. Now, I actually, so let's use David as an example. So this is a good example of how it can peter out or can work in your favor. So I basically messaged him, as you can see, so possible, notice on your profile you're looking. Now, this is when I was doing Isogenics, so I've gone straight in for the kill there. Right, see you're looking for that. I'm a part of an amazing company. I was using, this was a copy that, this is how Mark and Laura are using it. So I was using their copy here.
Oh, wow.
And I sent that through to say, this is what we're about. I've only been doing it 3-4 months, lost 20 pounds, lost in weight, got clarity of mind, minimized stress levels. When I looked at the business side of Isogenics, it's really incredible financial. So this was the copy that they did. Came back to me, thanks for that, thanks for the email, it's most appreciated. Can we send me more information? And he went into about his heart surgery. And I said, wow. And I got into a bit of a personal dialogue with him, took it offline, I took it off LinkedIn, took it into so I said, oh, you're on WhatsApp because I've got all my resources easily to send in WhatsApp. He can send videos in here, but they won't send, they only do short, they won't send more than 5 minutes. So I took it into that, sent it through to him. Now, what I've failed in one sense with this is I never actually got to a situation where I could have a chat with this guy. So what I didn't do is I didn't follow any process to have a conversation with him thereafter. Now, one of the things that I've got here from Eric is some cracking questions that he's put in how to close. So he said, what did you like best? So this is, I've sent across some information. What did you like best? I've actually asked him, I can only get a positive answer there. Or it might be, well, I didn't like anything. Oh, really? Okay. So then he's sort of talking about, and these questions, hasten to add, are basically ideally when you're talking to a prospect and they've seen it and you're in a face-to-face closure meeting, this is what you're trying to get to. And then he's saying on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you now? 1 being zero interest in building a network marketing business, or 10 being that you're ready to start right at this moment. And you get then an answer, oh, it's a 5 or I'm a 6. And then you get off the record, then come on, just between you and me, if you started this part-time business, how much money would you need to earn per month in order to make this worth your time? And, say, oh, wow, okay, it's £1,000. Okay, right. And so, realistically, come on, tell me how many hours per week could you commit to developing that £1,000 part-time income? Well, I've got, I don't know, 10 hours a week, and say, okay, right. And, just hypothetically then, so how many months do you think it would be willing to work, 10 hours a week to earn £1,000 part-time? And then you go through that, and then it's at the end, you say, right, if I could show you, and then it's the if I would, so if I could show you how to create £1,000 monthly income working 10 hours per week, of course, for the next 6 months, would you be prepared to start? So now, in theory, you could do all that online. You could do all that in questions on email on LinkedIn. And I've started to do a little bit of that. I've started to use what did he like best on the profile. But it's one of those things. It's just you're fundamentally farming a list, aren't you? And then you're trying to get into some sort of closure dialogues. And then you're starting to warm people up and follow it through. So, like I say, I'm early in my sort of Isogenics journey. So I'm using 6,700 connections I've got, and thinking how can I connect to those people and start some dialogues and getting some messages going. And then what I do, just to give you a little bit of insight to how I manage that to try and keep on top of understanding who I've sent to what, I will literally bring them off. So let's think about contacts. So I'll just see if I've done some recent ones that we've done. So there's Anne that I was talking about before. I just took, most people have got an email address in their, or they have got an email address in their connection. So if we look at Mark, see contact info, he's actually got a number of different contact info he's put in there. He's got his email. Some people put their mobile numbers in, etc. So you can farm some of their contact details there. I have my mobile number. Lots of people don't, but I then just bring some of that detail across. I just create a contact data for that person. I then go and create a deal, which is effectively where I'm at in my sort of pipeline. And once I've created a deal, I just literally create what my deal is. And then within that, in this system, I've got a task, and I have a follow-up task for today at 6 o'clock to see whether Anne has actually responded to my message. And then I can go to all my tasks in this, and you can get HubSpot guides for free. So I know I've gone off at a tangent here, like I always do, but you can actually enroll with HubSpot.com and enroll for their CRM, and you get this all for free. And you've got an app on your phone, and you get all these pings. So this keeps me on point with remembering stuff. So Dee, can never pronounce her full name, is a recruiter who's tried to sell me recruitment people before, and she's quite tenacious, so I think she'd actually be a really good person for Isagenix. So I've messaged her, and I've got a follow-up to do with her. Natasha was showing some interest for new, she was actually showing some interest for looking for new opportunity. She actually closed me off on LinkedIn. She wouldn't get off LinkedIn, and she said, send me more details, and said, network marketing's not for me. And I've asked her a question, really for feedback, could you give me a reason why it's not for you? Chelsea was actually a birthday message, so let me just show you Chelsea. Is everybody okay for time? Because I'm waffling here, guys. If everybody's bored,
you're fine.
So. Yeah, I'll conclude it at 9 o'clock. I promise you can get away and watch the second half of the football for those who want to go.
So interesting.
So I've messaged, and I'm from Stoke-on-Trent as well, so that's a sort of a little bit of a connector. But I literally just sent her a message. Hi, happy birthday, Chelsea. What's your plans? Do you have for the year ahead? She put, thank you. Wow. I didn't even about the year ahead from now. But now you got me thinking, step up the saving for travelling and mortgage and progress my sales department. But most of all, we need to find the balance of happiness. Within it all, that's what I'm doing, finding the balance. So that is basically Isagenix in a box to me. So I'm thinking, how do I get that moving on? So I put some great goals there. Where are you working now? Because if you look at her profile, she'd actually not updated herself. She's only got the last place of work finishing in July 2017. So I didn't really know where she was at. So she put one Shore Insurance sales team. It's good. I might look for a change in the near future though. And I'm going, right. So I've then thought, right, I'm just going to go for it now. Have you ever considered network marketing? I'm happy to share with you how it works and how can initially build a side income to the day job. If you're open to finding out more, let me know and I can share some information and then perhaps schedule a chat to help you with any questions. Now, I don't know what anybody's view is. I'd appreciate people's view on that message. Do you think that's a good message? Do you think it's a bit wordy? Do you think I'm being a bit pushy? I'd appreciate people's view, really. And then I've gone to this situation here where, maybe it depends on what it is. And long and short of it is I've got it off onto WhatsApp now. I've shared a little bit of information about network marketing. She'd give me her details. And then what we've done is I've sent that information to her on WhatsApp. And in there, I've actually had a message I've chased her on WhatsApp today and she said, I've just been on holiday. And I said, great, I haven't had a chance to look at it. I've set a target, say, well, enjoy the bank holiday and I'll contact you back if you've got any questions. So what that came from me saying happy birthday to her.
Wow.
So, you can see the power of getting the dialogue going. Now, it's at the start of the dialogue. But the signs there are buying signs for me where she's looking for change. She's looking for, she's got financial goals she wants to work towards. So you can try and help her see that she can achieve some of those with Isogenics, and that's what I'm endeavouring to try and do now. I've never met Chelsea, never met her before. I connected with her, so when you go to contact info, I connected with her in July 2017, and the reason why I connected with her is that she was working for Pitrio, and my old cricket club have a website made by them, and I was in the world of websites, and I thought actually there might be some connection there for me to do some business. So that's how it can work, guys, really. So is there any final questions before you go to sleep? Listening to me?
It was really interesting. Oh my God, there's so much information there. Wow. A lot for us to think about and work on our profiles, really. Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, listen, I will sign off. I will get the recording and work out how I do that out of Zoom. Try and share it to you guys on the WhatsApp. And just like I say, just message me if you've got any questions about LinkedIn. Just message me anytime. Just get in contact with me.
And thank you so much.
Thank you.
That was brilliant.
Thank you.
Yes, fantastic.
Thanks for
massive. Well done, Chris. Honestly, that's amazing. Well done.
Thank you, Danielle. Thank you.
Post the recording.
Yeah, did a good job. Thank you.
Yeah, cool.
Very excited for the recording. Very excited because
we
missed a bit of that. So.
Okay, well I'll try and work it out now. I might have to give you a call to work it out. Right, I'm going to stop the recording now.
Stop recording. Yeah, Brill. Thanks.
Stop the recording.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.